Hey there, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Let me scoot up a little bit so you can hear me better. I'm just setting up a poll real quick because I'm hoping I can maybe get some suggestions for what to paint on the rest of these rocks. Go ahead and get that situated. Sweet. And then also get that updated. Sweet. Cool. Sorry. All right. We're good now. How's your week been so far? As you can tell, I'm running a little late this evening. Took Levi to the library, and he had a lot of fun looking at all the books, and playing with the toys. They have a lot of toys there that he can kind of like get into, and I don't have to be like super attentive because they're all age appropriate toys, which is awesome. So it's a nice experience for both of us, but because of that, we got back home late. He ate dinner late, got his bath late, and so I'm late getting on here. But the good news is I've already painted the base layer on all of my rocks that needed it, so this should be pretty quick tonight. Just painting hopefully the rest of them, fingers crossed. I brought this rock back just to show, like, this is the reject rock, I guess. I guess that's the way to say it. I didn't like how this one turned out very much. It just, like, I like the design of it, but the background texture and color of the rock just didn't provide enough contrast against the paints. Really, it's my fault. Like, I should have just gone with brighter paints, I think. So, you know, in hindsight, definitely would have done this one differently. But instead, I'm going with this color palette. So that's what I'm going to do on these rocks. And these are all pretty light rocks, so I don't think that'll be as much of an issue. All right, set the reject to the side. I think I'm going to start. I haven't seen any votes come in yet. And then again, I'm not surprised because I have like very, very little viewer count as of right now. I'm just a channel, just getting started. So if you do happen to come on and want to help me out, check out the options and give me a vote, because I'd be really curious to see what you think. All right, cool. I hope the audio is okay. I am trying to stream some background music on Spotify while I do this, and I have the music coming through the speakers on my laptop, but I don't know if this microphone is picking that up. If it is, then there's probably an echo, and for that I'm sorry. So I'll have to figure that out, and honestly, I don't know that I would know if the echo is happening until I actually like watch a replay. I probably should have tested this out earlier, but I've been busy with work and other things, so please forgive me. So let's just jump right in. I think I'm gonna just do some abstract shapes with foliage on top. Actually, I think I'm gonna do that on this one. This would be a good candidate. Shake up my marker. And we'll just do some really like organic shapes for the background. And we'll kind of have them like overlapping too. Using our Posca paint pens. Let that one dry. Then do another blob, I guess, right here. Call it a blob because it is a blob. Guess I'm kind of going for like a diagonal composition, you know, where it's kind of like the shapes will be going this way and then we'll have the foliage kind of go in the opposite direction. Okay, so out of these colors here, I guess I could go with a dark blue or this one. This is kind of this orange, I think is maybe different enough, and the red would probably be too dark against those two colors, so I'll go with this orange color instead. Did I get paint on my face? I hope not. Okay. Question is, how do I want this to interact with the other shapes? Maybe just like overlap a little bit. Gotta be careful because I think some of the paint is not quite dry on the first two shapes. Oh, nice, we got a cat hair mixed in here, I think. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that out or not. You know, those of you with cats understand my pain. Cat hair everywhere. So something else exciting going on. I am going to be purging and reorganizing my office this weekend. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to stream it. I mean, it could be fun to watch, especially once you see all of the art supplies that I have. I feel like, you know, that could be kind of cool. And who knows, maybe if I have some extra stuff, I'll do a giveaway. We'll see. I'm definitely at least gonna take pictures, like before and after pictures, because I have plans for the for organization. Like I'm gonna do a pegboard, I think, on one of the walls and make that like the main organization wall. Maybe do a pegboard on this other wall too behind me for more vertical storage. That's my main challenge, is I need more vertical storage. So I gotta think through that some this week so I know what size and quantity of pegboard I need. I'm gonna need to do another layer of this color down here, I think. Let that go ahead and dry in the meantime. And I think go ahead and maybe start doing like some mountains on this rock. Go ahead and do the outline so I know where it's going to end. This will make a lot more sense, I think, once I get the rest of this mountain done. Like, I have a vision in my head. This is like the base of the mountain, and it's going to be different colors. It's going to be similar to this one, kind of. Going with that same vibe. Just the correct color palette this time. All right. Go ahead and let that dry. One thing in this color is shiny versus the other colors, which are very matte. So that is something for me to keep in mind moving forward. Oh, you know what? Huh. Definitely gonna need, I mean, I knew I was gonna need to seal the paints when I was done, but I think I'm gonna need to be like really intentional about that. Oh, nice. Yeah. This paint just wants to like crack off right now. Mayday, mayday. Does not want to layer. I think it may be because it's like a glossy texture. It does not play well with itself. Like, it layered fine on top of the Posca pens, but they are a matte texture versus being glossy. I'm hoping that maybe if I kind of like dab at it and then let the paint settle, that it'll look okay. Kind of just let the paint, put on a thick layer of paint and let it spread. Also, it doesn't help that it's a plastic nib on the end versus the Posca pens have a felt tip nib, and the felt just goes on a lot nicer on top of other paints. This plastic nib always wants to like scratch the surface. It's kind of stupid. I don't know why they put a plastic nib on these like that. Let that one dry. I do need to find a white or like lighter color paint pen. Because I'm gonna want to We do some outlining, I think, on this one. So I have this guy. Make sure I shape this up. I'm not going to use that just yet. All right, I think that this is like slightly darker than the other pink. So we'll go with this one next. Ultimately, I'm going to outline the transition between these colors with the white. So my line doesn't really need to be perfect between the two. Just got to bring the pink down far enough and get on a nice thick layer. I'll have to probably do another layer of the pink on top of this because that texture is pretty, the texture of the rock is coming through a lot. And actually I may need to adjust this side because I really wanted there to be two peaks. So we'll see. Yeah, I may need to adjust like the angle of it. I'm also going to adjust the angle of the red. I'm gonna need to come back in and do a little bit more work, but I gotta let it dry first because I see where the pink is like bleeding into the red because I wasn't patient. And that's a pretty typical story for me. Let me go ahead and shape up the black. Okay. I think for this one, I'm gonna go with like really long fronds. So something like that. I think one thing I learned from the other ones I've done so far, when it comes to doing the leaves, I want to draw in the shape first. Like put the shape where I want it and how I want it, and then connect it, versus like trying to draw the stem first or like the connection to the leaf from the main stem. Because it's all about like filling space, you know? And if you can visualize it that way, where you're filling the space the way that you want, I think it ends up being a lot more successful. So I'm really excited about the next painting series that I'm doing. I was telling my friend about it earlier today that I'm gonna be painting watercolor skyscrapers. So it'll be famous skyscrapers, like really iconic skyscrapers, but not a literal translation. It'll be more abstract and colorful. I guess I saw, I don't know if anybody follows Cat Cocolette is the artist name, but she did this like disco ball painting where she painted all of the little, what would you call it, like the planes of the disco ball as individual shapes, and kind of like just varied the colors based on how they might be varied on the actual disco ball. You know how the light hits it and changes. So it's like an abstract representation of a disco ball, but still recognizable as a disco ball and really colorful. And I just thought that was like a really neat idea. So I'm gonna try to kind of do my version, I guess, but with skyscrapers as the subject matter. I'm going to use the same method that I used to paint my watercolor dinosaurs and prehistoric plants, where I'm going to have a reference image that I'll work on my iPad and create the reference image, which is usually like almost like a collage of various other reference images that I found online, and then I will create shapes over top of it, like using transparency in the layers to kind of set up a stencil, if you will, because I'm looking at it in terms of pure just shapes, and not necessarily like the details. And so I'll kind of abstract it from that point. And then once I have that stencil of the various shapes put together, I'll print it out, transfer it onto my watercolor paper, and then I'll be able to paint those shapes really accurately in watercolor. Uh-oh, I think I bent the nib on this guy. No, come on, little buddy. Don't give up on me. I'm sorry. I'll be more gentle. Another thing I've learned with leaves is to always like go smaller than you think you want it if you're not sure, and then go up from there, because it's a lot easier to make the leaf bigger, obviously, right? You can always make it bigger. You can't make it smaller. Some words of wisdom. I was telling my husband and my friend about this rock art project and how, like, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like I haven't been as excited about it as my other projects that I've done. I don't know what it is. I guess, because it's uncomfortable. Like, I've never done rock art before. And I think having the first painting that I did not turn out the way that I wanted it, like I just wasn't happy with it, kind of set the tone for me. So like, just made me not excited to try to paint again. And like this one, is cool, but it's like super, super simple. I mean, don't get me wrong, this one's really simple too. And I think as a collection, they're all gonna look really nice together. But, you know, individually, there's nothing super like spectacular about any of them in terms of like just being difficult or, I don't know, like thought-provoking. It's me trying a new technique in a very safe way. The technique being, of course, rock painting. And even using like paint pens, because I don't normally use paint pens all that much. So yeah, overall just lots of learning. But that's good, right? Like I think I want to be learning new things constantly. Just the perpetual student, right? Stay curious, my friends. What is that from? What is that line from? Stay curious, my friends. I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, so before I am actually gonna look it up, but before I do that, I'm just gonna take a guess real quick and say, the most interesting man in the world? No, he says stay thirsty, my friends. Not stay curious. Who says stay curious? I know someone does. This pen's leaking. La la la. Leaking. All right. Let that one dry. Come back to this one. Okay, we're gonna look this up. All right. What did I say? Stay curious, my friends. Okay, so it brings up memes of the most interesting man in the world for Dos Equis. But is that actually what that's from? No, I don't know. It does keep saying, when I look down at the other search results, it does say, stay curious, my friends, Dos Equis, most interesting man in the world. Okay. I guess that is where it's from. Good to know. All right. Popping back over to this bad boy. And then I will go ahead and paint over this. So I'm trying to think of how it would look. Like this side. I feel like it would need to be kind of more like that. I think it'll make more sense once I get to the peaks and draw the outlines. what's in my head will start to kind of come together here. I don't think this is a different enough color. What color is this? Maybe I can do this one. Yeah, I may have to go back over that one with something else. I'll clean this one up once I kind of get these peaks figured out. Nope, it started to blend in with the red there a little bit, didn't it? Didn't realize it was going to do that. Okay, I'll have to go back over it again once that's dry. And then, okay. There we go. That's starting to look more like what I was picturing in my head. But I think I gotta make this peak come over a little bit, make it a little bit taller, and all of this will kind of... Maybe I should have started with the peaks. Maybe that was my mistake. Also might need to whip out the brush and use the this unbleached titanium to do this peak. Just so that there's enough contrast. Although I don't know, that's pretty... Those two colors are pretty similar. I guess it's maybe slightly lighter. Widening the base of the mountain. I better not get too close to that paint just yet. Let those two dry, and then I'll get that spot. All right. At this point, I'm just trying to get the paint nice and opaque in these areas so that it'll stand out a little bit better against the rock. Should probably do another layer of red over here too. These mountains ended up being a little bit bigger than I really intended them to be on this rock, but I think I can still make it work. I just gotta fit a little sun up there and I think it'll be good. I think I can do that. And for the sun, I think I'll use that orange color. The shiny orange color. And this is the part where I gotta be careful, because I tend to try to like go really fast when I'm doing a second layer. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I painted that before. I know where I'm going. And then before I know it, I've just like completely ruined it because it just slips and does some crazy line somewhere. Yeah, I think I gotta whip out this unbleached titanium and get better coverage on that one. I really like this unbleached titanium color. I'm a big fan. Would definitely love to use it again in the future and get a nice big tube of it. Yeah, so that's definitely a much lighter color. The problem is I think it's maybe gonna blend in too much with the rock. We're gonna have the same issue as we did with that one that I didn't like. So I'm almost wondering if I need to go white with it. I'm gonna finish painting it, let it dry, and see where we stand at that point. I'm gonna try to avoid leaving a bunch of brush strokes too, because none of the other colors have that. It's alright if it has a little bit of brush strokes in it, but I don't want it to be too much. Otherwise it would be distracting. So I'm gonna be putting these out for people to find on the trail by our house. And I'm wondering, I heard someone suggest putting like my name or Instagram handle or something on the back of the rocks so that when people find them, they'll kind of be like, oh, you know, this is the person that did this. Let me go check them out. And then they can kind of like re-hide the rock, reshare it, or they can take it and paint over it again and put their stuff on there. So I kind of like that idea. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so actually that's not so bad. I think that works. I'm gonna leave that color the way it is, and then we're just gonna add a sun, and then I'm gonna do white outlines to kind of accentuate the different colors. Can I make a good circle without tracing a stencil? I'm gonna try my darndest. I feel like that's a pretty good circle, right? Sure, why not? Might need to go back over that one more time, but I'll let it dry first. All right, we are in business with the white. We'll see how opaque this ends up being. Probably gonna take a couple layers of the white. I do like having the chill music playing in the background. I feel like it's relaxing. Making this a very enjoyable process. Decided that I don't like the shape of this piece right here. I'm gonna change it. And I'm gonna let that dry before I try to go over it with the white. So the idea is that I was going to separate these colors from each other with the white, but not outline it. I think I'm going to stick with that. Go ahead and do another layer of the orange, gold, whatever color this is. Actually, I can go ahead and do another layer of the white lines too, probably. If you're wondering what I'm like drawing on over here as I am getting the paint to flow out of my pens, that's palette paper. And it is a godsend. I love palette paper. It just makes it so nice to sit down to paint, where you're not worried about making a mess. You can kind of just like do what you gotta do and then toss it. I will say it is, you know, more wasteful, but the trade-off is you can spend more time painting and less time cleaning up. And for someone like me who is really busy, that's huge. Paint keeps trying to get picked up by this white. Try to clean it off here. Seems like the pen maybe got clogged. Okay, there we go. I'm so close to being done. Don't give me issues now. Come on. Oh, come on, paint pen. You were working so well. Don't give up on me. Not yet. All right, it might be time to whip out the Posca paint pen, the white Posca. And I knew that was gonna work really well. Where is it? Is this it? I think this, yeah, that's the one I want. You know, I think it's the texture of the rock is what's making this difficult here. Like, usually Posca pens go on really nice and smooth, no issues, but the rock texture is kind of causing the paint to chip up as I'm doing this. So maybe I actually just need to switch to a different white Posca, a different nib on it, perhaps. Okay, now it's starting to flow a little bit better. If only I can keep it flowing like this. That would be great. Make my life a heck of a lot easier. when I'm not talking might be the times that you notice potentially an echo, because the microphone starts picking up the music in the background. And if it is, I'm sorry again. Still working out the kinks. There's something about this intersection that I don't like. Kind of feel like maybe I need to adjust that a little bit. Maybe the line just gets skinnier right there or something. Kind of fades away, if you will. Or do I just go ahead and outline? You know what? Maybe I should outline in white. Now I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I feel like the white looks good. Like, I like that it's adding an extra layer of, like, detail to it, I guess. There we go, now it's fine. I'm gonna use a bigger marker for this, though. To make my life easier. Some red, clean it off. Okay. Sorry if I got quiet. I'm just trying to concentrate a little bit more since this is a little bit more detail oriented now. It is important that my lines stay pretty straight. Last but not least, just get along the bottom. I think I might need to just go over a couple little spots on the very bottom just to kind of clean up because the red color was starting to bleed through again. What do I want to do on the last two? I think I can finish these tonight. Maybe do the seascape or the potted plant. The seascape I'm less confident on because I don't have a clear idea of what I would want that to look like. Potted plant, yeah, definitely can do that. And I just smudged that white paint right there. And you can scratch it off. Scratch, scratch, scratch. No one will even know. It had kind of a rough edge anyway, didn't it? Sure. This is also a tricky part. Getting the sun. Like, getting a circle where you're filling in the shape is not so bad, but having to just like draw the outline of a circle, no. That's pretty difficult, especially on a rough texture like this rock. So we're not going for perfection here, but just generally trying to get that vibe. All right, I think we've got it. I think we're done with that one. You know, one thing that I might do on this rock is maybe make these white instead of the beige, just to add like a little extra pop of color. don't know how noticeable it'll be when I'm done, but I do think it'll make a very slight difference and help tie everything together with this really bright white outline on that one. Do need to touch up a couple things on this rock before we seal it. Probably just seal it with some matte varnish. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, I can't forget to put my info on the back too. Gotta do that before we call it quits. Yeah, I made like a slight difference. All right, just touch that up. I think we're good on that one. You know, looking at how tiny this rock is, I think probably what I'm gonna need to do on this one is just do like a plant and maybe a little sun. Call it a day. Because I don't think I really have much room for anything else on there. Go ahead and do our little sun here. Definitely can't do like a seascape on this one. Maybe we would do a seascape there. Maybe this plant is just like an outline. Oh, it's so very little and dainty. So cute. Just gonna add center lines to these leaves. I kind of really like how the line work is kind of imperfect, I guess. Perfectly imperfect. It's a little cutie. What a little cutie. Huh, the way it's shaped though, I almost kind of feel like you could do something, just do like a little mountain down at the bottom there. Maybe we just do like a little choo 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 choo. Go ahead and fill that little guy in. Yeah, that's cute. I like that. Just adds a little something extra. This one, Seascape. Oh boy. All right. How are we gonna do this? Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I have a band here. Make it like a thick band. And maybe just like alternate between the blues. Kind of give like a give it some dimension. This will be another one where I end up like outlining, I think, but my intent is to outline with the black. Well, I don't know, maybe I should outline with the white again for consistency, so that it matches that one and then these kind of are together. Or I just need to find a way to incorporate some black into that one. I think I'll try doing the white. Outline with white in between the two bands, I mean. So these bands are kind of supposed to be like waves. It's already 9:30. All right, come on, Jen, you can do this. Almost done with these. Probably won't show the matte varnish part because who cares, right? Like, I don't know that that's really all that interesting to watch. So I'll just finish this one up here and then we'll call it a night. Just know for the matte varnish, I'm just gonna apply 2 layers of it. to all of the rocks. And that'll be that. And it'll be sealed and ready to go out on the trail. As I start to get towards the end of my streaming time, I tend to get like really quiet, I guess. I think it's because I'm concentrating, because I'm like, oh, you can get it done, focus, focus. I just have I have a lot of thoughts running through my head right now while I'm finishing this. Like, do I want to add more detail to anything? Like these feel like they're the same level of detail, but this one is standing out to me as being not quite what I envisioned. So I'm just kind of wondering if I need to do anything else to it to kind of get it up to speed, I guess. I think it'll depend on what I end up doing for this one in terms of the outlines, like how this ends up looking, because maybe that'll tie all these together a little bit better. Alright, make sure we get a good circle. This rock in particular, I think, is going to be hard to get a clean circle on because it has a lot of texture to it. All right. That looks good. I'll add a couple little birds, I think. All right, let me check out this white and see. I think this will be a better nib for outlining. Ooh, yeah, this is, I think, maybe what I needed for the other one instead. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and my stomach is starting to growl. It's about that time. I'm so close to being done, though. I can do it. Just get through, power through. It'll kind of suck eating dinner so late, but it's the price I gotta pay if I want to stream and get any artwork done. Uh-oh, I feel a tickle in my throat. Don't cough, don't do it. I need to drink my water. Oh, much better. Okay. I feel like I've seen waves done in this kind of style in maybe like traditional Japanese art. You know, where it's like represented in bands, or represented as bands of various shades of blue. Make a really pretty watercolor pattern for sure, to do water like that. I'll have to keep that in mind as a potential texture I can use. Clean off the tip of this. Ooh, that was a lot of white that just came out. Whoopsies. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna clean up a couple spots where I accidentally sprayed some drops of white. Yeah, so again, I feel like the problem that I have with this one is the white lines are just too thick. So let me just try to refine a little bit. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna need to get some more of this paint to do this part. That's a really nice thing about working with acrylics is you can kind of just keep layering on top of each other. So, you know, messed up, made the line too thick. Well, I guess, like, I can't really make the mountain smaller at this point, but I can clean up anything on the inside of it, right? So like trying to make these white lines appear a little bit smaller, you know, that is within reason. You know what I probably should have done, looking at how bright these colors are showing up on top of the white, is I should have laid down a layer of white first where I wanted the mountains to be. That would have definitely made these colors pop. Still gonna have to go back over with the white and clean up at the end, but it should be pretty straightforward. I do think it looks better now that I've thinned up the white lines. I definitely think that made a difference visually. Made it not seem so chunky, like a little bit more finessed. I don't know if chunky is the right word for it, but that's what we're going with. Side first. Really just trying to clean up anything like egregious. Like you kind of have to overshoot the corners to be able to get a nice clean corner when you go back over it with the white. Okay, done. Yep, that looks much better. And then this one, I'm just gonna go back over these lines one more time. Help make them pop. I think just one more layer will do the trick. So I don't know if anyone else is running into this issue right now, but we have too much TV to watch, like too much to catch up on right now. And this is a first since the pandemic, when, you know, all the TV shows got put on hold because, you know, people couldn't film. People couldn't get together in large groups or travel to the remote locations they need to go to, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, now that everything's coming back, we just don't have enough time to watch everything. And, you know, that's a good problem to have, because it means that if there's ever a lull, we have the whole, like, library of things to watch now. But the trick is remembering what we were going to watch. I'm sure they probably have an app like this already, but I wish that, you know, I kind of wish that I had an app that would let me keep track of all of the TV shows on all of the networks and, like, what seasons come out when, and let me earmark them and set a reminder to say, like, hey, make sure you go watch this. Make sure you go watch your series. They just released the new season. Like, I just feel like that would be really handy for me, just to help me remember what I was planning on watching and get that notification that says, hey, it's finally out. I feel like a lot of other people would use that too, but like I said, I'm sure that's got to be a thing, right? Like, surely that already exists. But then again, maybe not, because the whole battle of the networks thing, you know? Like, everybody has their own streaming service now. So maybe you couldn't... Well... Then again, I feel like it's public information, right? Like, you could look up when different shows air, and you just have to, like, manually input that information. You wouldn't be able to sync up this app with something like Peacock or whatever. But if you had people just keeping the database up to date, I feel like it could work. Food for thought. Well, anyway, okay, so all of these are done. I'm struggling. Do I put a white outline around the sun and around these to kind of finish it off in the same way that I did that one? Or do I just leave it as is? I'm thinking maybe I just leave it. Looking at my screen over here where I can see all of them from up above. And yeah, I kind of feel like maybe I just need to leave it. Just leave it alone. Pencils down, right? last thing for me to do is just put my name on the back of all of these and then apply the matte varnish. So let me go ahead and do that. Fit it on here. Oh Lord, this one's gonna be tough. I have a really big handwriting. You know, I didn't think about this, but my poor nibs on these pens are probably just gonna be ruined from now on. The texture of the rock really does a number on it. So since my handle is the same on all my platforms, hopefully it should be easy for people to find me. All right, that's it. I'm just gonna varnish these and we'll be completely done and ready to hopefully start on the watercolor skyscraper series on Thursday. Fingers crossed I can get my first stencil done. I would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts on what skyscraper you'd want to see. Drop me a line. And with that, I bid adieu. Have a great night. Catch you next time.